I'm sorry, y'all. There's going to have to be a part two of crying as part of no contact. So when I ended the other video, I basically was saying you're supposed to be in no contact with all abusive psychopaths, sociopath, and narcissists, even when they're in their grave sites. So that's why when you're crying over them so much, you're breaking no contact. Okay? And it has to stop. It's interfering with the life that the Lord gave you. The Lord made his choice. The Lord made a decision. And the decision was and is for you to still be here because it's something that you need to be doing with your life. And it's much, much more than crying over any psychopath that's in a grave site. You got to look at it this way. Are you crying over the psychopaths that are here right now, walking on the land of the earth that you're in no contact with? So you gotta treat the psychopath that's in that grave site the same way. You gotta learn to control those emotions. You gotta learn to control those emotions. Nothing greater will come for you. Especially the biggest gift that the Lord can give you is a sense of contentment and peace. And when you have that, you can wake up in the morning and when you walk out in your driveway and you see no vehicle there, you see no Mercedes sitting in it, you're content. You walk through that driveway, you speed through that driveway like you're a car. That is the peace that will come to you. But in order for that to come and to be a permanent fixture in your life, you gotta stop the crying. You gotta get control of it. Because crying is a part of no contact. I mean, see, when you're doing these videos and I'm doing these videos, I mean, some of y'all might be already YouTubers. You know, if you're already a YouTuber and you're listening to my videos, put your YouTube channel in the comments and I'll support you too. You know, because I appreciate you listening. You know, that would make me feel really happy to know that another YouTuber is listening to me too. So that's just what I'm learning through this process. So this particular individual has been deceased 3 months. And you know, I gave you other tips in the part one of crying as a part of no contact. You know, the pictures. You got to take these pictures down. I did that many, many years ago. I'm not leaving up no 8x10, no 5x7, 4x6 photo. You know, all of those typical size pictures that we used to put on bookshelves and stuff like that. That stuff is down. Like I'm looking at my bookshelf right now. I have a lamp, a vase, couple of vases. Let me see. This bookshelf has, let me see, a top shelf, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it has like 5 shelves. And I actually have books on it, right? See, we call things bookshelves with no books. So I'm actually seeing books on my bookshelf, right? So, you know, have some real books there. And basically, yeah, you can't let psychopaths that are in grave sites ruin your life. Life is what it was. Their life is a consequence of their behaviors, their childhood. And you got to forgive yourself. You know, if this was a daughter or son and you were young when you had them and you thought you was doing the right thing when you sent them to their psychopathic mom or dad, the psychopathic aunt or uncle, you got to forgive yourself because, and I have to do this too. I have to forgive myself because I didn't know what a psychopath was. I didn't know what a narcissist was. You know, I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard the word, this is no joke. And you know, this is just keeping it real. You know, when you hear that word, you hear it on crime cases, and you think, oh, a lot of people think this. But now we're educated. Now we know that anybody can be a psychopath. But back in the day, you always heard that term used on crime shows and on the news. And back in the day, you just always saw a white man on the photo. It was a white man or woman. So you thought that narcissist and psychopath word was just a white people thing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be real about that. That's the way I thought too. I thought that was like some kind of white people condition because that's what the news and the media expressed. And that's because, the way they told the news, the news, that's why so much racism in the United States, because the news traditionally has been depicted in a racist point of view. So if you saw a black man or woman that did a horrendous crime and murder, they were called crazy and insane and unfit to society. However, if you saw the news and there's a white man or white woman that did this same horrendous crime, oh, he or she's a psychopath. And so what that did, that made you think, even if it's subconscious, like, oh, that's a white people word. But actually, all of them were psychopaths. And now the courts have changed. And so people in the courts, whether they be white, black, or other races, in the United States, they're calling black people psychopaths also. Because psychopaths have always been any race. Black, white, Korean, Asian, Spanish, Hawaiian, European, British, Asian, African, psychopaths, Indian, they can be any race. And not to disrespect nobody's country. I'm just trying to throw out some of the bigger countries. And so that's how it's always been. So, when that word was used many, many years ago, it hurt a lot of people of color because they thought it was the white people word. And so they couldn't even see that Uncle Tommy's a psychopath. He in and out the house, raping all the girls and boys, gambling every week. They don't understand Uncle Tommy's a psychopath. They just think Uncle Tommy's just an alcoholic, right? But Uncle Tommy's much, much more than an alcoholic. And Tommy's a nice name, not to disrespect anybody that has that name. I just threw out a name. I try to mention a name that's nice, right? Oh, I got another video coming. I'm going to do another video about the narcissists and their clan. And when I say their clan, I don't mean like no white supremacy stuff. So I got so many video ideas. Gosh, I got to really get on this. However, I try to upload one video a day. That's recommended if you have a YouTube channel. And so, oh, the beauty tip. Okay, because I didn't know this was going to be a part 2. So remember in part 1, I promised to give you a beauty tip. So here is the beauty tip. It's for your lips. I'm recommending this tip for your lips. So this is a lip thing. So I have nice size lips. The thing is, what I've learned about lips, okay, lip picking. When your nerves are bad and you're peeling the skin off your lips and you're over peeling it, you're over peeling it when it bleeds. Okay, so you want to avoid that because you don't want the scarring of the lips. I've also learned through some photos, because I picked my lips one time, and the photos, after I picked my lips so bad, my lips look smaller. And small lips are beautiful, but I appreciate my full lips. I just do. I'm not saying small lips ain't pretty. They pretty. But I don't want to shrink my lips. I just have no desire to do that. Why? People paying for lips to be my size, right? People want full lips. So it must be some good about full lips if people getting lip fillers. So why would I shrink my lips when people paying for what I got? So this particular, remember back in the day when women wore lip gloss. Okay, women wore the shiny lip gloss that was in the Kiss sticks, or I forgot what it was called. But so this is it's called De La Cruz, DE space, I think it's LA space CRUZ. It's in the Spanish section of a pharmacy place. You know, pharmacies have much more than the pharmacy. So it's called Vitamin E All, and it's 15,000 IU. And the reason this stuff is so good, I was buying these different vitamin E oils, and one of them had some number IU on it, but it was like Crisco cooking oil, y'all. This stuff even smelled like cooking oil. I said, oh my Lord, it was the worst thing. So I ended up coming across this. And even when I first bought it, I didn't even realize it was in the Spanish section of the pharmacy. So I'm going back to try to find this oil. Couldn't find it. And then a sister told me, oh, that's in the Spanish section. I said, oh, I'm buying Spanish products. Nice. So yes, the Spanish products are some good stuff. And you ain't got to be Spanish to be using it. So what I do is, and it helps me not pick my lips, and it helps me not diminish my lips, because when you're picking the skin off till it bleeds, your lips are disappearing right before you. It's no different than if you took a tool and started taking gabs in your arm and picking skin out. I know that's gross. Your arm's going to disappear, right? If you start taking pieces of meat, throwing it in the trash, eventually you're going to see bone. That's what happens to your lips. Fortunately, through these photos, I was able to notice it right away, and I stopped doing it. However, this is my lip gloss. So instead of using or buying all these lip glosses that only chap your lips up, I put on this vitamin E oil as my lip gloss. And also, it keeps the skin on my lips pretty. It keeps the lip soft. It keeps my lips plump like I like them. Because of course, I want to keep my full lips. Like I said, I don't want my lips to go anywhere. I think even if you have thin lips, this may add some substance to your lips, because maybe your lips are thinner than you like. And the reason they're thinner than you like is because they are dry. That is why your lips appear too thin for you. Put this vitamin E oil on it, smack those lips together, and this vitamin E oil, I put it around the lips too. So, you know, the outside of the lips, it goes all around the corner, and you talk about some good feeling lips. This is the key. And you're going to be doing stuff like this instead of breaking no contact crying. I'm walking up and down the street crying, breaking no contact with somebody that discarded me, and I'm losing my lips, y'all. Lips drying out, I'm picking them. No. Didn't get on my exercise bike for a day. No, you still alive. You got to control your life. You don't want what happens to a lot of people. And what happens to a lot of people is their total life becomes grieving over the dead narcissist. That's all they living for. To wake up, to cry over the narcissist, to go to bed, to cry over the narcissist. And then some of y'all raising the narcissist kids. The kids don't need to see grandma and grandpa crying all day. They need to see you doing stuff with the kids, teaching the kids, stuff, going places with the kids. So 3 months is long enough. I remember years ago, I watched I think it was a TD Jakes ministry. And he told the honest to God truth, and it is true. He says that antidepressants most of the time are not needed because most grief and crisis situations, your brain will automatically heal within 6 months. And I thought about all the crises I had been in my entire life. And it's true. Your body and your brain naturally heals within 6 months. So 3 months in, you know, I mean, if the person was super empathetic and they was around you every day and y'all was in contact, I get crying more often. But not if they were narcissistic. It just ain't, they're just not worth ruining the short days that you have here. You never know. You might only have two years left and you don't even know it. I hope you live long, but sometimes you just don't know when your time up. You don't want to spend it crying over somebody that discarded you. I don't care if they were your daughter or your son. Like, if they were and they discarded you because you wasn't giving them the money they wanted, and a lot of them was so belligerent and cruel with the name calling, you didn't even really feel comfortable visiting them most of the time when they were out of state. I mean, so you were already in no contact. I mean, when it goes that far and you don't even really want to visit or go in town and be around this person, you got to be not regretting that decision. It's gone now. They dead now. I mean, even if you say, well, I should have visited them more. They wasn't going to be doing nothing but cussing your ass out, disrespecting you. Like in one video, they talk bad about you often. That's all. You just was going to add more to the plate by going to visit them. You just avoided some fights. That's all you did. I mean, even when you end up going to the funeral, okay, you stayed out of that state, you went to the funeral, you treated like an outcast, don't nobody invite you over to the house. I mean, it's a bullshit situation anyway. It's a situation that narcissists deserve to be in, for real. Take your ass back to the state that you in, go back to your life. Fuck these people, for real. And stop crying because you're supposed to be in no contact. So you crying, you ruining your days. You got dishes piling up in the kitchen. What this dead person gonna do? Come back and wash your freaking dishes? No. They wasn't even talking to you. And see, stuff like this happens too. You know, while these narcissistic adult male and female children do this, I mean, there's shit happening to you too. You developing medical problems, you got migraines, you've been in and out the hospital for high blood pressure. Some of y'all done got cancer. All of this shit didn't happen to you, and this narcissist wasn't giving a fuck. I'm speaking real life, like this is me right here. This is stuff that I went through when I'm discarded. You understand? So they ain't there giving you no money and lifting you up off no toilet. When you can't use your legs, they're not there. So, and they wouldn't have been there to be at your funeral. They just wouldn't have. Like, you got to come to grips with this. Like, you doing a lot more even when they dead than they would have done for your ass. And once you click in this logic, I'm trying to get y'all to get this logic and reasoning. I didn't used to have logic and reasoning. I was the crybaby. I was the anger management. I'm so upset because I'm hurt. I'm ready to fight. I'm angry. I'm cussing at people. I used to not control my emotions like I do now, but I didn't know what the hell I was. And it wasn't that I was a narcissist. I was empathic, and I didn't know how to control sadness and anger. And, you know, when somebody harmed me, I didn't know how to, what do I do when a psychopath is fighting me and I'm being kind to him? I didn't know that. I was filled with so much anger because I couldn't understand why somebody would even be so wicked. Why are these people so wicked? What the hell is wrong with them? I didn't know about the word psychopath. And so, being empaths, you're able to have those narcissistic traits come to the forefront sometimes. Those are the traits that you use to fight off these narcissists. But at the same time, your empathy is always going to prevail. Like in my case, I still went to that funeral. That's the empath in me. I know they didn't give a fuck, but I'm going to go anyway because I'm forgiving and I'm not holding it against them, you know? And really, I could have prevented a lot of shit if I would have been really full no contact for real. Like, because when you look back and you're breaking that no contact or you haven't even fully made a decision to do no contact, what's happening is you're getting into it with the narcissist and the psychopath more. So that's more they're using against you. But I didn't understand what the hell was wrong with these crazy people. Now I do. So even with these two other narcissists that were threatening me, I went over this in other videos. I didn't respond because I know what the fuck they are now. And I know that one of their driving forces is to cuss you out, threaten you, so that you behave like them. And see, that's what I was suckered into over and over. Narcissists and psychopaths always knew, they always knew I was empathetic. They always knew I was different than them. I remember my ex-husband, this is what he told me, that he told a therapist when we went to marriage counseling. He said that he told the therapist that my wife has the biggest heart in the entire world. That's what he said he told the therapist. And he might have been lying. He was a backstabber. So he might have told the therapist something else. He might have told the therapist the opposite. But the fact that he said that about me says this. Even if he told the therapist some bullshit and said the opposite, he still knew the truth. And the truth is what he said. My wife has the biggest heart. And so he always knew I was different than his ass, right? So all narcissists know that. But what they get a thrill out of is destroying your true nature. Because your true nature is kind-hearted, giving. Most of y'all was real humble little kids. Like I can remember when I was very young staying with my mama, I was the little girl that sat over there on the couch and just looked at my mama walk around, and I was quiet. I was the little, hey y'all, hello. I didn't talk much. For real. I was just peaceful. I didn't not talk much because I was traumatized. My mama wasn't playing no games, y'all. I wasn't messing with her. She walk around the house with that big old booty and swish, swish, swish. I said, dang, I knew as a little girl. I said, I hope my ass don't be that big. I don't have her ass, thank the Lord, because I remember as a child, my mama could walk through the hallway and that ass be swishing and she damn near knock you down. Like, you better move your ass out the way when my mama walked down the hallway. But, those are the good memories I have of my mama, and so I'm just going back to your nature. But I remember when I left my mom's house as a young child and went to my grandmother's, some of my nature began to change. And that's because I was being subjected to narcissistic behaviors that even my grandmother had. I'm not calling my grandmother a narcissist, though. She was empathic. My grandmother was. However, you're around more people. So see, your nature changes. And that's the whole game with the narcissists. They get that thrill because, see, even when I went to the funeral, I brought myself and 3 other relatives, and they saw how calm I was. I mean, we weren't overly dressed up. We were clean. We were showered. I remember when we went down there, we were in the Walmart. myself and my other relative, and this sister walked up to us. And it was so funny because I told my relative, I said, yeah, we bringing this West Coast skin down here. And I was just joking, y'all. I was like, this the South, but I'm bringing this West Coast skin. And a sister walked up to me and my relative at the Walmart customer service counter and said to me, you know, you and him really have some beautiful skin. And so my relative thought it was funny, you know, because I was just talking about skin. And so, yeah, I focus more on that. I focus more on skincare, not on makeup. What is makeup doing? Makeup is just covering up, right? You want to have the skin looking as best as you can so that you don't have to cover it up. And begin with your lips. Again, this is the Vitamin E Oil De La Cruz, DELACRUG, 15,000. I think this is a IU. Yeah, 15,000 IU. And you're going to love it. You know, it's going to feel so good on your lips. Put it on there sparingly, means put it on there as much as you want. And you're going to see the coloring of your lips. It's going to be so pretty. I also use other things like Carmex and Blistex, but this does the job. And if you have skin on there that you kind of want to peel off without it bleeding, just that dead skin, this oil will help you recognize which part is really the dead skin, so you're not pulling off the wrong part till it bleeds. So it does that for me too. And your lips will just be so pretty, whether you have thin, medium, or full lips. So yeah, so that's just how that's working, you know, going back to the no contact and crying. You see, like right now, I made a choice to be in no contact. See, the no contact choice can also be a choice that you make even if they're in a grave, if that makes sense. So, yeah, you just got to look at it from that view. Stop looking at no contact like it's just something that's happening for people that's alive. So I'm learning too, y'all. So see, when the next narcissist dies or psychopath dies, if they die before me, I'll know what to do. Because I did my videos and the next death in the family, even if it's a close friend that violated me many, many years ago, I'm going to know that crying is breaking no contact. And so you're going to be in no contact, even with that narcissist and psychopath in their gravesite. Ain't that what they did to you when they were alive? Remember, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And following these tips, keep doing your prayers. One of the things I believe that the Lord definitely wants for you is for you to be happy. The Lord takes care of the narcissists and psychopaths. Anybody that's disobedient and holds any form of hatred towards their family, whether it's their mom or dad or whomever, the Lord takes care of that. And you got to continue to allow the Lord to do that. It's the Lord's position to do it, not ours. But I'm doing it. It's working. Look at this. I was able to do part 1 and part 2. I'm on part 2. Basically, I almost did 2 40-minute videos. And I'm able to almost do 2 40-minute videos because I realized crying is part of no contact when they're deceased. So I'm making a conscious choice to dry those tears out so that I can move on. And so I can have the benefits that I'm instantly receiving. 1, being more focused on my channel. 2, having better health. 3, not driving myself into any mild depression. 4, being able to appreciate and validate the people that are actually in the house and in my life. And 5, being courageous and teaching you how it feels to do this. 3 months is long enough. You don't want to cry over a narcissist or psychopath much longer than that. And emotions, as we live, emotions have to be learned to be controlled. Because think about it, in the worst case scenarios, where does emotions lead a lot of people? Just be honest with yourself. Where does emotions lead a lot of people? What's the side effects of having these emotions? The side effect of having these emotions, y'all, can even be that you kill somebody because you're emotional, you're angry. So emotions are not meant to be let loose. Your emotions can't be your wild animal. That's what wild animals do in the jungle. They run off and they're let loose. They're not caged up. So they're allowed, wild animals are allowed to do whatever they want with their emotions. That's why they call them predators. But as human beings, we're not supposed to be predators. We behave as predators sometimes, but are we supposed to be predators? No, we're not. That's the difference between you and a wild animal. A wild animal, them hyenas have no control. Lions choose to have no control. I believe they have a lot more control than they act as if they do, but the lions are predators. That's the situation. They're acting like their situation. Lions are going to be predators and lionesses are going to be predators even if you cage them up. You know, just like some of the old videos, they want to hug up and take a photo with the lion or the lioness. And they got photos and videos where the lion and the lioness snap. And while you in the photo, they reach over to you and take your whole head off. We ain't supposed to be taking photos with no lion unless I'll take a photo with him, put him in his cage, lock that cage, and I'll be on the other side of the room and I'm going to say, snap, snap. Okay? I ain't going to be nowhere near his cage. Or, matter of fact, if we're at the zoo, I'll stand up in front of the glass while the lion behind me. You can take that photo. But you got some of the animals in the zoo that break the glass. They don't come all the way through the glass, but they have broke it. So I don't even know if I want to be over there with the glass. So it's working for me. And, doing this Narcissists and Funerals series is very therapeutic. And y'all, I've been on this bike. Part 1, I was on the bike, 46 minutes, and I've been on it almost 34 minutes now. And so, yes, so remember, you got to do the same thing. It's just like the narcissist that you broke up with, whether they be male or female, you're not crying, right? Your instinct told you to stop crying because they over in the same part of town as you. You ain't talking to them. Why are you sitting up in your house crying over these fools? You gotta do the deceased narcissists and psychopaths the same way. Their blood relation to you won't matter. All that matters is they are a psychopath. They're the product of a psychopath. They discarded you. They used you. Never liked you. You gotta forgive yourself for the parenting mistakes, the auntie uncle mistakes. Forgive yourself for that. Because the truth of the matter is, you could have did everything right. They were still going to be a psychopath. You got rich people kids that discard them. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Not all rich people neglect their kids. What those rich people do is they offer them everything. They offer them financial support, spiritual support, emotional support. A lot of those rich kids are not molested and raped. They live borderline perfect lives. But when that rich parent says, hey, well, you got to work for yours like I work for mine. I'm going to give you this money. I'm going to leave you this money. But you got to work for yours. I wasn't born rich, is what some of these parents tell their kids. And they offer them like, okay, I'm going to give you 100,000 to start. But that's not enough for the rich kids. Well, mom or dad didn't give me $1 million. 100,000. This is how these rich kids act. And they take that 100,000 and they discard their wealthy parents. So it's not always the case when you see the discard of the wealthy parents. And I've watched videos on this. Some of the most interesting videos that I love to watch are in the United Kingdom, where you see how it's really done. Some of these kids have their parents have mansions. I mean, you got so many wealthy people other than just the main billionaires, you know. Some of the richest people behind these billionaires, you don't even hear their names. They so incognito that it's not even funny. So yeah, and I mean, you might want to grow richer in finances. That's one of my goals. And I won't get richer. I won't go into retirement way down the line one day crying over the narcissist and breaking no contact. She or he was in contact, so you need to go back in no contact too. And whatever else comes out of it, there's a lot of other chaos that goes on with it. You know, you can't see your nieces and nephews, you can't see grandkids, cousins. That all goes along with the psychopath. That just goes along with it. So I just did a video about that. I mean, look at my last 4 to 5 videos I uploaded. And so I got a lot of stuff coming for you. I hope the beauty tip helped. I apologize that I didn't put it in part 1. However, it is in part 2. And so I'm going to throw in little bonuses because I like to do other things. I mean, narcissists ain't telling you how to heal your lips and stuff like that. And so I remember, you know, through my journey, going no contact and studying narcissism, that is things, or this is things that would have attracted them to my channel or to their channel. Like over time, I just got tired of hearing about narcissism. I'm like, I wish they would throw in a little other kind of perks. I mean, some other perks that make you keep watching. And so one of my perks here is my huge playlist. Like I said on part 1, I don't know why some of the playlists don't show, but I think enough of it shows my playlist, and I'm even adding beauty tips. And I just got so much more, you know, that I want to do on my channel. And I have historically informative movies on here in my playlist. So, and some people just probably tap into my narcissist videos sometimes. Some of y'all just here for the videos about narcissism, but some people probably just here for my playlist. Who knows? That's why I want to add more and provide more. And I'm going to add this video under my health and fitness playlist also, because I included a health and fitness tip. And again, sparingly and as much as you want, drip it down till it feels good. And it's the Vitamin E Oil De La Cruz 15,000 IU. And I put it on right before this video. And my lips feel so good. I got to keep my lips feeling good, y'all, so I can do another video. Right? So I can't be having no dried out stuff. I can't have that when I'm doing videos for y'all. Got my lips all crispy. I got to keep them lips looking good so I can keep talking and doing what the Lord loves for me to do. Use my speech and my mouth in the right way. And y'all gonna have a better life than I have had, because these tips gonna work. I'm telling you. Crying is breaking no contact. 3 months is long enough. Let's move on. We got other stuff we got to do, y'all. And it don't mean you don't love them. Why can't you love them and smile when you see them? Don't you think the deceased person would appreciate that? If I died right now today, I want you to see a picture of me and smile. And don't be smiling because you're happy I'm dead. That's what them psychopaths gonna do. Ooh, good. I'm glad she gone. Because they soulless. They're soulless individuals, but you're not. So let's turn this crying into something else. Look at that person's Facebook and see those pretty pictures they took and smile and be grateful that they were enjoying those moments. Be grateful that they're no longer experiencing experiences with the other psychopath. They're free of that now. They're free and you free. We're all free. And the way to open up that freedom is to stop crying and breaking no contact and find you something else valuable to do. One of the things I'm finding to do that's valuable is what I'm doing right now. I'm on this video. I'm on this bike. Appreciate what the Lord left you here to do. Appreciate what the Lord allowed you to do. You know, it's a blessing to even be able to go to somebody's funeral, y'all. A lot of times you can't even do that because the psychopaths have blocked that. Be grateful that you attended the service. Be grateful that the Lord gave you a voice to even speak about the Lord. Never go to somebody's funeral and speak and don't mention the Lord. You gotta mention the Lord. That's why you were sent there. Whenever you speak at a funeral, the Lord is part of what you talk about. Because that's who's in control of everything. And you're still here. And those psychopaths, like I told you in part 1, some of them will die before us, but some of them will live too long. And go to part 1 and I told you why. I explained to you why they live too long. And please leave a comment. Please like, share, and subscribe. I love y'all so, so much. And thank you for listening to part 2. Crying is breaking no contact. Almost 44 minutes on this bike, y'all. I'm getting it done. Thank you. Bye.